Imagine standing shoulder to shoulder, shields locked, knowing 300 of you will face hundreds of thousands, and you cannot retreat. In this video we will dive into the events of Thermopylae, and you'll experience the battle through the eyes of a Spartan soldier. What he saw, felt and feared in his final moments. At a narrow pass called Thermopylae, otherwise known as the Hot Gates, a handful of warriors faced the largest army the world had ever seen. At their head was King Leonidas of Sparta, and his story would echo through the ages. The mighty Persian Empire returned, determined to crush the independent Greek city-states once and for all. King Xerxes marched west with an army so vast that ancient writers claimed drank rivers dry. Modern historians estimate around 100,000 men, soldiers from every corner of his empire. Against this colossal force, the Greeks had only one advantage: unity. To lead the defence, the Greek council turned to Leonidas, one of the two kings of Sparta. Leonidas was no stranger to hardship, raised under the brutal Spartan system known as the agoge. He had been trained since boyhood to fight, endure pain and live with discipline. In Sparta, weakness was not tolerated. The Spartans believed that courage and obedience were greater than life itself. As their mothers famously told them, "Return with your shield or on it." Leonidas selected 300 Spartan hoplites to accompany him to Thermopylae, not because Sparta had no more soldiers, but because of a unique Spartan tradition. A sacred time for Spartan people, Spartans were traditionally forbidden from engaging in military campaigns during this religious period. So the small force represented both a compromise and a strategic move. They fought in a phalanx, a tightly packed wall of shields and spears that turned men into an unbreakable machine of war. Roughly 7,000 Greek soldiers from across the land joined them at Thermopylae. Among them were the Thespians, Thebans, Phocians, Corinthians and Arcadians. The Phocians were assigned to guard a narrow mountain path that led behind Greek lines, a critical post that would later decide the fate of the battle. Despite their differences, these men stood shoulder to shoulder, defending the pass not just for Sparta, but for all of Greece. Thermopylae was more than a battlefield, it was a fortress of nature. Between the mountains and the sea, the pass narrowed to less than 50 feet. This terrain erased the Persians' numerical advantage. Hot sulphur springs bubbled from the rocks, giving Thermopylae its name, the Hot Gates. When the Persians attacked, they expected an easy victory. Instead, they met a wall of bronze and discipline. Wave after wave of Persians fell. Herodotus wrote that the Persians lost thousands while the Greeks suffered few. For 2 full days, Leonidas and his allies held the line, mocking the invaders as they fought. Treachery would undo what courage had built. A local Greek named Ephialtes approached Xerxes with a secret, a narrow mountain path that could outflank the defenders. For money and favour, he revealed a route that would doom the Greeks. Under the cover of darkness, Persian troops climbed the trail and circled behind the pass. When Leonidas learned of the betrayal, he faced a grim truth. The pass was lost. He dismissed most of the Greek army to save their lives, but chose to stay behind with his 300 Spartans, 700 Thespians, 400 Thebans. The final assault came with the rising sun. Outnumbered thousands to one, the Greeks fought with broken spears, swords, and finally their bare hands. Leonidas himself fell in the thick battle, and his men fought desperately to protect his body. Persians overwhelmed the pass. When the dust settled, every Spartan and Thespian lay dead. Leonidas was remembered as a hero. The Persians, slowed and bloodied, were soon defeated, and Greece remained free, because a small band of warriors refused to yield. The stand at Thermopylae was not just about war. It was about values. Values that still stand in Western culture today, of discipline, sacrifice, and the belief that freedom is worth any price. This was the stand of Leonidas and the 300. But what was it like to be one of those 300? Here is an account from a Spartan himself.
I am a Spartan. My life has been forged in discipline, steel and blood. I march to Thermopylae. The Persian army approaches. A tide of men stretches as far as the eye can see. They seek to conquer all of Greece. The Greek city-states are divided. Athens fears Sparta. Corinth fears Athens. Yet the council convenes, and a decision is made. Sparta must lead. King Leonidas is chosen to command the defense. From boyhood, I was forged in the agoge, a crucible of hunger, exhaustion, and pain. Tradition, Spartan law, and the sacred Carnia festival limit our numbers. Each of us carries bronze, shield, and spear. Together, we form the Phalanx, a wall of discipline and steel. In the narrow pass, it becomes our greatest weapon. We are joined by other Greeks, Thespians, loyal and brave. Phocians, guarding the mountain trails. Thebans, uncertain but standing nonetheless. Shoulder to shoulder, we form a single line, united against the impossible. The Persians advance, confident in their numbers. Wave after wave crashes against our shields. The immortals strike, but our phalanx does not break. Spears pierce armor, shields splinter, arrows darken the sky. Leonidas moves among us, calm and commanding. Even wounded, he rallies the men. His courage ignites ours. The earth shakes with the thunder of boots. The air fills with cries of men and the clash of bronze. For 2 days we repelled them, each man holding not just a line, but the hope of Greece. But treachery lurks in shadows. Ephialtes, a Greek, reveals a hidden path. By nightfall, the Persians surround us from behind. Leonidas orders most of the army to retreat. Only the 300 Spartans remain. 700 Thespians, 400 Thebans. I do not fear death. I fear dishonor, and I will not abandon my king. Dawn breaks. The Persians come from all sides. Spear against sword, shield against blade. Dust and blood swirl together. Around me my brothers fall, yet we strike back, holding ground with every last ounce of strength. Leonidas fights at the front. His voice cuts through chaos. His courage is unmatched. Even as men fall beside him, he does not waver. We are inspired. Every one of us fights beyond fear. I see him fall. Fury, grief, and determination flood me. Every strike, every shield held, every breath declares, we are Spartans. Thermopylae is ours in spirit, even if not in life. When the battle ends, every Spartan and Thespian lies dead. Yet our sacrifice buys time. The Persians are slowed, bloodied, their momentum broken. Leonidas' courage echoes across Greece. The monument at Thermopylae reads, "Go tell the Spartans, stranger passing by, that here, obedient to their laws, we lie." Thermopylae is more than a battle. It is courage, loyalty, sacrifice etched into history. Leonidas showed that one man's bravery can inspire nations. When Xerxes demanded surrender, he answered, "Molon Lab, come and take them. I am a Spartan. I fought, I died, and my story will live forever."